Hey guys, Garlic here with another 2004scape video for you. Recently, there was a new news post on the main website, and it is entitled 27th September 2025 Sneak Peek. And there's been a lot of conversation going on around this. We did check it out on stream, but I thought I'd just make a video for those that aren't maybe following the website homepage or aren't in the Discord servers or whatever it is. If you get your 04scape news on the Garlic channel, then it makes sense for me to read this out and go through it a little bit, and I'll give some thoughts about what's actually happening here. So, as you can see here, the main thing that they're talking about is the next preservation update will target July 13th, 2004, which is part of revision 245. There is no ETA to give just yet. This is a sneak peek to share expectations. So just to clarify, for anyone clicking on the video, no, we don't have a release date yet. We don't know when it's coming out, but this is just sort of to show the progress that they've been making so far and what we might expect from this update. Now, the one thing I will point out here is that they say the next preservation update will target July 13th, and that is part of revision 245, as I said, but revision 245 actually spans over 3 different updates. So the first part of 245 is the 29th of June. So the first part on June 29th actually gives us Priest in Peril, and it gives us some bank updates. And then the second part of revision 245 gives us the Nature Spirit quest on the 13th of July, which is when this update will come out. But then there is also a third part of the 245 revision that came out on the 20th of July, which actually gives us quest journals and chompy hats. And from the looks of this, we will not be getting that last third part of revision 245 in this update when it comes out. It looks like we will get the Priest in Peril quest, we'll get the bank arrangement changes, we'll get the Nature Spirit quest, but it looks like we're not going to be getting quest journals and chompy hats. I'm aware that the team have been working on the quest journals, and from what I've heard, it's very tedious to do. They have to basically find all of the text that is part of those quest journals, and a lot of the quest journals in old school are no longer correct to the 2004 version of the game. I think they're actually using some quest journals from RuneScape 3 because they're more accurate, but it's not just getting that text, it's then going through each quest and deciding when, what action during that quest actually makes the quest journal update to the next step. And obviously, for things like Cook's Assistant, that's probably very simple. You go and pick up the egg, the milk, the flour, and it tells you where to go, and now you need to go hand the quest in. But when you're doing quests like Legends Quest or Holy Grail, there are so many pieces in those quests that trying to track down exactly which part of the quest moves the quest journal on to the next step, I can imagine is going to be very, very time consuming, which is why I assume that we are not getting that last third, I should say, of the 245 revision update. Shame we're not going to get chompy hats, but I guess they're going to bring those out together at the same time when it's all ready. So just to sort of clarify here, the next update they're planning to go for is the 13th of July 2004, which will give us Priest in Peril, some bank changes, and the Nature Spirit quest. And then the quest journals and chompy hats are part of that revision, but are not coming out at the same time. So this does also open up the possibility of future revisions actually being split up. I think people before used to think that, we might not have month-by-month updates, but the revisions might sort of all be packaged together in one. But it looks like they are actually open to splitting up revisions into smaller updates if necessary. But anyway, I've waffled on far too long trying to summarize that. Let's actually take a look at what they are saying in this post and go through it. So they say this update has been worked on by Pizzazz for client decompilation, web client port, server protocol, data tooling, unpacking data, and Canifis interactions. Indio has worked on the Nature Spirit quest, Canifis interactions, bank changes, and bug fixes. Mr. Ashy B has done the Priest in Peril quest, and the Sudden Silent has done some researching spawns and gathering NPC information. So thank you to these guys. And also honorable mentions here, Tanner for some bug fixes in 244 and Colin for bug fixes as well. So shout out to those guys, obviously making it possible for us to play this game and get these updates coming out anyway. So we can see maps here. We see the addition of the introduction to early Mauritania, giving us access to Canifis and Mortmire Swamp. So you can see there a screenshot of what Canifis is going to look like. It's kind of interesting seeing it in this way. I think I'm so used to playing old school with the HD plugin, I'd forgotten what the old swamp looked like. And there's the swamp itself as well. Some logs there that one day we'll be able to cast Bloom on and get some Mortmire fungus for potions. So it's cool to see that, the areas have already been created and seem fairly ready to go. That's nice. We can see here for quests as well, Priest in Peril. King Rold has had some issues being able to communicate with the priest to the east of Varrock. Better do a wellness check. And then this is the temple where the Zamorak monks are. that you go to and speak through the door, and you get tricked into going to kill the guard dog down the ladder. So that's a screenshot of that. Looks like that's been coming together quite nicely. And then nature spirit as well. They say here the aforementioned priest wants you to check on a temple goer, be kind and bring some food to him. So obviously the priest in peril and the nature spirit quest is going to be part of this update. There's also some music tracks here that they go over. So the parade track, I believe you can already unlock this track if you enter the gate south of the lumberyard and follow the path. But there's not really much of a reason for people to go there. So there might be some people that haven't unlocked that yet. And then also we're going to have the Mauritania track, which will unlock when you approach the new Patadomus temple. You'll get the Mausoleum track when you do the priest in peril trip. You'll get the grotto track when you unlock, when you do nature spirit. You'll get the village one when you enter Canafish. You'll get dead quiet when you enter the swamp itself. And then you will get natural for the southwest area of the swamp, stagnant for the southeastern area of the swamp, and waterlogged for the northeastern area of the swamp. There are also some new shops being added into the game from this update. So you can see there are 3 shops in the new area. In Canifis, they have a meat store, a clothes store, and a general store. So Rufus's Meat Emporium. Kind of a bit sus they're selling meat in Canifis, but I guess they're all werewolves. Spoiler alert. It looks like they're just selling like some chicken. I'm assuming this is like raw rat meat, raw bear meat, and beef or something like that. And then you've got some trout, some pike, some salmon, and a single raw shark. Then you've got Barker's Haberdashery. Obviously, going to be getting some fashionscape added to the game here, getting access to the grey, the red, crimson, the gold, the sort of dark turquoise, and the purple robes, as well as a place to buy all the capes in one place, which is quite nice. Going to be probably flexing the gold boots myself, I think. And then just a normal general store, not too much to write home about there. And then some NPCs here. Canifis villagers have a dangerous secret that I pray you don't find out. Avoid making them angry at all costs. We've already spoiled that. There is a tanner in Canifis as well, the perfect spot with the bank nearby. You'll pay a pretty penny for the convenience. So I don't know. Obviously, this is the tanner that is in the building across from the bank. And I think this is going to be a lot closer than the tanner in Al Kharid. Maybe not a lot closer, but I think it is going to be a shorter distance to run, which is probably going to make this place worth coming to. It does say you'll pay a pretty penny for the convenience. I'm not sure whether that's just saying, it's not free, or whether that's sort of suggesting that maybe it's more expensive to tan here than in Al Kharid is. I'm not quite sure on that one, but obviously the tanner is going to be a lot very nice to use compared to the one in Al Kharid. The only problem I see is that getting to Canifis in the first place is a bit of a mission, because obviously we don't have the the Canifis teleport, because that's from Desert Treasure. We don't have the Ectofile, because that's from the Ghost Ahoy quest in Port Phasmatis, which isn't going to be added for a while. So I think the only way to get here really is just to run all the way from Varrock. If anyone knows any different, please do let me know. But I think if you've got a ton of tanning to do, then it's worth making the trip. If you've just got a few leathers to do, then probably wouldn't bother running all the way to Canifis for that. I would just go to Al Kharid. We've also got the innkeeper in Canifis as well, Rovar. I don't know if anyone knows this as well, just a little Easter egg, is basically all of the citizens that live in Canifis, all of their names are like puns about dogs, because they're all werewolves. The Hair of the Dog Tavern as well is the name of the pub. And then this is kind of interesting, I thought. There is a man to the northeast of Canifis warning about the flooded path. Now, I don't remember ever going to Canifis before this path was opened up. So I had no recollection of this path being flooded, but it's interesting to see, because I was wondering, how are they going to block off certain areas? Are they just going to have the path just goes into nothingness and it's just an invisible wall? But it looks like they thought of that, and yeah, the river here was flooded over the path before they expanded the area up there. So that would be kind of cool to see for the first time. I don't think I've ever actually seen that in game since I started playing. So if anyone's wondering how they block off the next few areas, then that is how they do that. And then we've also got some bank changes here. A big one, we get the insert or swap option to select from. I know a lot of people have been really looking forward to this, so you can swap between swap and insert to either swap the items, or just you can see there, drag in the items and it will push everything along one. Also, a few banker NPCs get a bank right-click option. Not all of them, strangely. So it looks like here the Draenor village banker has a right-click bank option there. So I don't know exactly which ones get that and which ones don't, but that's interesting to see, I suppose. And then there are some bug fixes as well here. So these are our mistakes and will apply to the current version, 244 and before. So potions were disallowed incorrectly during no food duels. They are now allowed unless no potions is on. Some item weights were missing. Death logic has been rewritten. I'm not going to go into this in too much detail. You can go in I'll leave a link in the description for the news post if you want to go and check it out yourself. There's some changes to the I am already under attack mechanics. The book interface arrows weren't hiding. Various message fixes, and ogre arrows were wasting double ammo. So these are still pending to be deployed live. So these are things that they're planning to fix but aren't going to be fixed, I think, and maybe until they actually release this update. And then we've got some client improvements here. But you can see Pizzazz here says, I rewrote all of the input code to address some long-standing issues. These changes will be most noticeable on mobile devices. There is improved device support across the board. For devices that are capable of transitioning between touch and pointer inputs, like tablets or phones with Bluetooth mice, they will now work seamlessly. And then dragging items and scroll bars using touch is smooth and follows your movements. Now, I think a lot of people have been complaining that the mobile experience is not quite what they want it to be, let's put it that way. But it looks like you can see from this GIF here, he's like dragging these items and they appear to be dragging a lot more smoothly than they used to before. He has said these improvements are not live yet. More information on that in the future. It will either be a silent update one day or get released with the next version. So obviously this change hasn't come into the game yet, but it does look quite nice. It looks like a big improvement. So look forward to that. Anyone that plays on mobile or tablet, and anyone that's got a Tesla as well, apparently. Strange flex, but okay. But that is kind of cool to see. I mean, obviously don't play 2004scape while you're driving, but that's interesting to see someone actually playing it on a fucking Tesla screen in their car. The next part of this post as well is the 377 branch, and I think a few people might have had some questions about this, so this is explaining this a little bit. So some of you may have seen I dedicated some time to make a 377 branch, which is the May 2006 version. I decompiled the client, unpacked the cache data, and updated our server engine. This branch existing does not mean 2004 or 2005 are suddenly done or getting skipped over. It takes time to do the technical side before even getting to the content. By having the last revision in this engine version running, I can reduce how much I'm bottlenecking people from contributing with their hobby time. This urgency on paralysing effort gets more important as history becomes lost or overwritten. Remember that we are doing this for the future. It is just the benefit we all get to experience it together now. And then Indio, Tanner, Pretentious, Brannon, Mr. Ashley B, and Truthfus have already gotten a head start writing later stuff. So this is kind of interesting to me because from my understanding of this is that the people that are working on 2004scape and even like future updates in 2005scape, they were not able to work on certain updates because of this bottleneck that Pizzazz has now removed, the 377 branch. So this means that by dealing with this, developers are now free to work on like future content, not just what's coming up in the like most immediate next patch. Which in my head, I'm thinking, if that's the case, and let's say like everyone starts working on like Slayer now, or everyone starts working on the Abyss now, or whatever it is that people like weren't able to work on, does that mean that when we get closer towards those updates, there's a higher likelihood that the majority of those updates will already be sort of done and completed? In essence, does that mean the further we go in through updates, the faster the updates are going to be? Or maybe not faster, maybe they'll still set them at regular intervals, but like maybe the deadline for those updates coming to the game won't be like pushed back incredibly far if people have had enough time to already be working on it for months and months and months. That's kind of how I'm looking at that. So that would be exciting. So for example, you know, if we get into 2005 and then it's taken like X amount of time to get to 2005, but as soon as we get there, a lot of the stuff in the first few months maybe has already been worked on because the bottleneck's been removed, and so those updates might not take quite as long to come into the game. That's kind of that's how I'm reading it. That's what it sounds like to me, which is exciting. And then we've got a last little bit here. Next update, when KQ, when Slayer, when Barrows. After 245, we have to pick the next revision that has enough data available and revise all 50 plus quests to add help journals for them. Right now, we're researching, compiling information, and I cannot set any expectations yet. Please help archive lost data, search your old family PCs. If data can't be found, I'll have to try to recreate it, which is its own time sink to do correctly. The roadmap post goes over what is currently archived. Join us on the forums if you want to be a part of the community and get to talk directly with me, other Git contributors, and your fellow players. So if you guys want to go and check out the roadmap or any of these other links, I will leave a link to this post in the description below. But that is sort of just like a short summary of this sneak peek post, just to make you guys aware if you hadn't seen this, and just sort of go through what they've said and give a few thoughts of my own. I'm excited to hear what your thoughts are in the comments. I know that we spoke about this on stream the other day. I think there were quite a lot of people that were a little bit disappointed about revision 245 being like the next update. I think a lot of people were kind of expecting to jump forward like a lot further into like September or October. I was kind of always assuming it would be Revision 245 would be the next one, so I'm not really that disappointed. And I'm just enjoying the game for what it is, and any new content is good in my opinion. But I can understand some people maybe getting a bit impatient with the updates. But I think you just got to realize that, this is all volunteer work. No one's getting paid to do this. Everyone's, giving their free hobby time to working on this, and we wouldn't be able to play the game at all if it wasn't for those people. So I just want to reiterate a big thank you to all these people listed and everyone that's not listed that has been helping to work on 2004scape. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Try not to be too negative if you are one of those impatient people. If you are happy with the state of the game and the updates that are coming out, though, make sure to let me know as well. If you want to come and watch me stream, I try and stream every other day. If for some reason you haven't tuned in yet, then please do consider doing that. Also, please leave a like on the video and subscribe if you are new. And I will see you guys in the next video.